Very good evening, participants. It's been 5 o'clock, and we are here from Gupshup to Inspire team with one of the most incredible webinars, mostly around invention that you will talk today. And it would be an event to reckon with. We have with us Mr. Praveen, who is CEO at YCI Technologies, and he has studied industrial and systems engineering at University of Southern California. I welcome you here, Praveen.
Thank you very much, Vikas.
Thank you. So, to all the attendees here, just wanted to put up a small brief before we start the event. The overall event, Invent, is obviously something which we have to discover, and we do not want to recover or resummon for which we already know. The talk is a part of the global movement aimed at transforming 1 million students or people into the inventors category by 2025. We have somebody here, Praveen, who is enlightening us with his work that he has done so far. There are so many credentials that he has with him. We can definitely talk a lot more about him. We can definitely talk a lot more about invention, and we can definitely talk about what all we can do as a contribution to put this up as a society that we are into. So Praveen, if you would like to highlight few words about your work and yourself, and then get into what we have here as a webinar session, that will be great for all of us to kind of look into. Over to you, Praveen.
I want to thank Ranjan and his team at GupShup for inviting me to give a talk on the title,
Thank you.
You Can Invent. You can read a lot about my movement by simply Googling You Can Invent. And let me start my presentation with one of my inventions. My house has close to 10 inventions. All of these are world's first inventions, and I was planning to show 2 or 3, but because of time limitation, I will show you just one of my inventions. So let me quickly share that invention with you. Can you all see the screen now?
Yes, we can see it's an awesome looking machine here.
Yeah. So this is the world's first pedal powered centrifugal pump. The man's legs go up and down. It is not the bicycle mechanism, and the rotation is exaggerated by a gearbox, and there is a flywheel here, and the pump is on the extreme end of the machine. So this is the world's first pedal powered centrifugal pump, capable of achieving a speed of close to 2000 RPM, which is close to 35 rotations per second, purely by human power. So I want you to see this video. As you can see, the pump part of the machine is only this much. If you remove this pump and substitute an alternator in this place, you can work this as a pedal powered generator and charge a battery. And if you exercise only for 15 to 20 minutes, you will charge the battery enough to power a tube light for close to 5 hours. So using this machine in the way that I described, this machine has a capacity to transform your human power into electricity in the most efficient way and store enough energy to tube light your room for close to 5 hours a day for only 15 to 20 minutes of exercise. So let me complete this video. Okay, I'm now going to show you a video of this machine working as a pedal powered pump. So hold on. So this is, in this video, this is a video. I'm hoping all of you can see the video.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. So this is a video where I'm standing on the world's first pedal powered centrifugal pump, and this is me pumping, and I'm pumping water to a height of second floor plus the height of a man. So it's close to 9 meters in height. And I'm pumping close to 30 liters per minute with easy exercising. So I want you to see this. This is the suction pipe and this is the delivery pipe, and I'm sucking from the bucket and pumping water into the same bucket. So this machine can be used as a pedal powered pump. And if you get up in the morning and exercise only for 2 to 3 minutes, you can pump close to 100 liters of water into the second floor tank, which is more than enough for an average person per day, for 1 day's use. So let me close this and let me start with my PowerPoints. Can you see my PowerPoint now?
Yes, Praveen, it's visible.
Okay, thanks. So I quickly want to show you some major inventors of Indian origin. These are inventors who transformed the world, created several 100 million jobs through their inventions. This is Jagadish Chandra Bose, known as the pioneer of wireless communication, and also he did a lot of pioneering work in the invention of diode. This is Amar Bose. He was the chairman of Bose Corporation. He had close to 70 patents issued to him, and Bose speakers are known as the best quality speakers in the world. This is Rangaswamy Srinivasan. He is the inventor of the LASIK surgery. All the cataract surgeries in the world are done through the LASIK surgery process. It is one of the most conducted medical surgeries in the world. Millions of LASIK surgeries done every year. This is Kumar C. Patel. He is the inventor of the carbon dioxide laser, which is the most used laser cutting mechanism in the world. All our cars and machine tools are cut by carbon dioxide laser. This is Narinder Singh Kapani. He's known as the inventor of fiber optics, a major invention. All of us are able to do this video conferencing thanks to the very fast communication possible through fiber optics. This is Jayant Baliga. He is the inventor of the insulated gate bipolar transistor. This is the most used transistor in the world. All your laptops, all your camera, cell phone, all have insulated gate bipolar transistor. He is also known as a man who saved the highest amount of energy, because the previous transistor was using much more energy than his invention. This is Ajay Bhatt. He is the inventor of pen drive. There are more pen drives than people in this world. We all know that. This is Arun Netrawali. He was one of the pioneers of digital TV and high definition TV. And many of us have these high definition TVs at home. This is Sanjay Mehrotra. He has 70 plus patents in flash memory, one of the pioneering researchers in the field of flash memory. All these people I've shown you, they are not famous for their research papers. They are famous for their product inventions. And this is Arogya Swami Polraj. He is also of Indian origin. He is popularly known as the inventor of 4G. He created the multiple input, multiple output technology, which makes 4G much faster than Wi-Fi, much faster than 3G. And he has 30 plus patents. This is This is Dr. Yogi Goswami. He is the inventor of the Goswami thermodynamic cycle and has 27 patents. This is Sunita Mitra, very famous in the US, and she has won the White House Presidential Award for the Inventor of the Year. And she has invented the special kind of compound used for dental filling. And this is also one of the most conducted medical procedures in the world. Millions of people have their teeth filled with the special kind of compound that she developed after doing several years of research. And I wanted to know that as per the research done by Kaufman Foundation based in US, they tried to find out the percentage of Indian origin inventors of all the international patents applied for from the US, and they found out that close to 13% of international patent applications from the US were made by people with an Indian sounding name. So I wanted to know that we Indians in the US only form less than 1% of American population, but close to 13% of the international patents filed from US have an Indian sounding name, which means they are people of Indian origin. And I have shown the website which has published this data. This is a set of pictures of the 16 finalists of Google Science Fair competition in 2016. Google conducts a science fair every year to all high school students who have a science project. It's open to every student of all countries. And in 2016, I was amazed to find that 9 out of 16 finalists, they chose 16 finalists, and 9 out of 16 finalists are of Indian origin. There is one student from Saudi Arabia. He or she is the only student. He or she is of Indian origin. There are 2 teams. So I think from India, there is one student from Singapore, again of Indian origin. So I wanted to know that Indians are doing very well outside India in creating new inventions or trying to create new inventions.
That's great to know.
Okay, so okay, I'm trying to. Okay. So this is the same thing. There was an Intel Science Talent Search competition. Again, a competition for high school students, and 8 out of 40 finalists were found to be of Indian origin students. You can see those news on the links below.
Is it possible to give that link on the chat box? I think it's difficult to click from the screen here.
Okay, let me try. Okay, so there was another research done by Information Technology and Innovation Foundation of US, and they chose close to 1,000 patents which were doing financially very well in the US, and they tried to find out the inventors, the origin of inventors of these inventions, and they found out that I'm going to explode this much of information here. And they found out that close to 35% of the inventors were of European origin, and 21.5% of inventions were of Indian origin, and 17.1% of Chinese origin. So the people of Indian origin only form close to 1% of American population, but we form the single country of origin of the highest number of inventors who are responsible for international patents, who do financially very well in the US. My screen got stuck. Okay. This is a list of patents granted in the whole world in 2018, and you can see in 2018 close to 300,000 patents were granted in the US, and I have shown a list of patents, the number of patents of different countries. In India, we issued close to 14,000 patents. This is an area where we all need to improve. I have shown you the good data about the performance of people of Indian origin. Now we need to look at some data where we need to do improvements. So this is USA and this is India. And out of close to 1.4 million patents issued in the US, this is a small percentage. And if you look at the number of patents issued to people the number of patents issued to Indian residents, people living in India or companies based in India, it is close to 2,300, which in the form of a percentage is close to 0.16% of 1.4 million. So this is an area where this is a place where we need to, we as a country need to improve our performance. Now, by this cartoon, by this drawing, I mean that what I mean to say is that people of Indian origin, we are able to see they are coming up with many world-changing inventions, but in India, the number of inventions are lacking in number. The intention of my talk is to motivate 1 million people to become inventors based in India, not based in foreign countries, but the best inventors of Indian origin should be in India. As you can see, the best inventors of Japanese origin and many of the best inventors of German origin and French origin are based in their own countries. So this is what I'm trying to achieve through my talks. A tiger is a tiger, whether you go to a foreign country or you remain in your own country. Now,
that is very inspirational and a very noble thought, Praveen.
Yeah, thank you very much. And this is Ganapati Bhatt. I have never met him, and he invented the world's first tree climbing scooter. So you can you can sit on a scooter, turn the accelerator, and it will take you to the top of the coconut tree. It's very simple, only 75,000 rupees. I've never communicated with him. Somebody sent me a WhatsApp forward. I was so impressed, and I Googled him out, and I found his YouTube link. So one of the intentions of my talk is to have people like this come to the limelight of Indian national media, and people like this get Padma Shris and Bharat Ratnas, because India is one of the biggest coconut producing countries in the world, and we have a lot of tall trees, arca nut and many other kind of tall trees which can be climbed using his machine, and it's very safe. I suggest all of you to go to YouTube and search your for Ganapati Bhatt, tree climbing machine, and you will see this. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, this is the founder of Good Night. We all know Good Night. It's a famous mosquito repellent in India, and this is Professor Talapil. He is the inventor of a special kind of water filter which is based on nanotechnology, and he has won many international awards. And his invention makes it possible to filter water, drinkable purification of water, for just 2 paise per liter. So I'm going to end this PowerPoint. So what I want to see is that I want inventors like this, Mr. Ganapati Bhatt, Mr. R. Mohan, he's also known as Goodnight Mohan, and Professor Talapil Pradeep, to make big inventions like pen drive, like carbon dioxide laser, like insulated gate bipolar transistor, like fiber optics, and become world famous, and I would like to see them based in India, operating from India. Okay, I'm now going to close this file, open my next file. Quickly, let me open my next file. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, Praveen, your screen is visible.
Okay, I'm not going to go for the big scale because when I go for big scale, I have some issues. So I'm going to present it like this.
Sure.
So my intention is to transform 1 million people into inventors. Let me quickly go to the next slide. So the three main arguments I give during my lectures is that we are all born great inventors, and the three arguments I give to establish that statement is number one, we all know the saying as creative as a child. We don't say as creative as Isaac Newton because it's presumed that young children are more creative than Isaac Newton, and we were all children, so we were all inventors as great as Isaac Newton or even bigger. Number two, children until the age of 4 children aged 4 ask approximately 300 questions a day. So we all know that asking questions is a spirit of inventive inquiry, and pursuing questions is a starting step of all inventions. The sad thing is that when we grow as an adult, we don't even ask 3 questions a day, although we see many problems which are not resolved around us. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure that the inventive spirit that is in you as children. To my knowledge, most of you are 11th or 12th grade students. So you still ask on an average maybe 10 to 30 questions a day. And I want to help you preserve that inventor in you. And we are also aware that brain experts have repeatedly stated that half of all your learning happens by the age of 4. So for a man who is 80 years old, half of what he has learned has happened before the age of 4, which means he has learned close to 20 times faster before his age of 4. Now, these are some examples of the time taken by an industry to do the same thing that a child is able to achieve. Now, you look at walking. A baby learns to walk within 1 year after the baby sees people walking, and it's known that the research industry has taken close to 800 years after the idea of a walking robot was first conceived by an Arab inventor called Al-Jazari, and that was in the 12th century, and a walking robot was achieved by Honda. A sophisticated walking robot was achieved by Honda in 2010-11 time. So it's close to 800 years from idea conception to implementation. But for a baby who sees somebody walking is able to do the same all by self-experimentation within 1 year. Similarly, for autofocus, when the camera was invented in 1838, there was no autofocus. And in 1978, Kodak was the first camera to launch autofocus, close to 150 years. When a baby is born, the baby is not able to focus its eye on an image, and it learns by trial and error. The autofocus capacity is learned by trial and error. And bicycling, if you search on YouTube for bicycling robot, you will see a couple of videos. To my knowledge, they were developed by Japanese companies. It takes 3 weeks for a child to learn to walk, but it takes close to 20 years. It took close to 20 years to make a robot which could bicycle. And for swimming, we still haven't achieved, although some universities are trying to develop a walking robot, we still haven't achieved a robot which can swim. Those universities are trying to achieve a swimming robot, but it's not achieved so far. But we know that children learn to swim within a month. Same thing for pattern recognition. A good quality pattern recognition software is not still available. It has been tried in airports. When people turn their faces by 10 degrees, the software gives bad results. But a child can recognize, if you talk to a child for an hour, when the child is of the age of 4+, he is said to remember you for the whole life. Even if you age, the child will recognize your face. So let me go to the next slide. Okay, by this slide, I want to say that all inventions are very late. The area of inventions is an area where there is very less competition. So it's a field where there is a lot of grass and there are very less cattle to graze the grass. Let me give you an example. When I was a young boy, I remember reading in the Hindu newspaper that the double-headed spanner was invented close to 40 years after the invention of the single-headed spanner. So this is a double-headed spanner. As you can see, this is a double-headed spanner. There is one head here. There is one head here. Oh, okay. I could get some more space here. And this is a scissor. I was curious to know how late is the invention of scissor. And I Googled and I found out that the invention of knife was made close to 5000 BC. Experts in fossils have dug out fossils of knives that are close to 5000 BC. The knives formed close to 5000 BC, but the world's first scissor was invented in the 12th century. So a scissor is nothing but 2 knives and a pin. So it took, although the knife was available, although 2 knives and a pin was available in close to 5000 BC, it took close to 6000 years to put them together and call it a scissor. Same thing for the rollable suitcase. This is a bag with 4 wheels. So the bags, there are paintings which are older than 5000 BC of bags, and there are paintings of which are more than 5000 BC back of wheels. A roller bag is nothing but a bag with 4 wheels. So you can see it took more than 5000 years to put these two together. It was invented by Bernard de Sado in 1970. Now the question is, why does it take a lot of time to make these simple inventions? And one of the answers that I can think of is that people did not have quality free time. In the olden days, before science and technology was advanced, there was risk of death. There was risk of death through wars. Every 30 years, there were wars, and many people died. There were risk of natural calamities, floods. Every couple of years in tropical climates, there were flood and people lost everything. And they had to begin from zero. But now, thanks to science and technology, we have good control over diseases and health. We have good control over floods, in the sense that you can predict a flood and move away your assets from the area of flood. So this has given us a lot of free natural time. And also this coronavirus, these corona times have also given us free natural time, because many people are now working from home, and they are not traveling 2 hours to and fro to office. So that is 2 hours of time saved. So I want all of you 11th grade and 12th grade or 10th grade students to use your time, free time, to try to solve a problem that you face in your daily life. People don't invent because they don't get enough quality free time. This is one of my conclusions. So I created, to transform 1 million people into inventors, I created this website called youcaninvent.org. If you Google, this is the first link that you get. I would suggest all of you to go and take a look at all the links and see all the, and try to make use of many free resources I have provided on this link. And I want to tell you that I'm giving this talk at a time when Corona and many other factors are not helping to grow the world's economy. So every invention has a powerful positive effect on the world economy, because every invention creates dozens of factories, and the big inventions create thousands of factories and millions of permanent positive jobs which give people financial security. This is one of my inventions. It is a lighting system which reflects all the light from a bulb onto a defined rectangle. It can be used for street lighting. It will save close to half the power in street lighting. Right now, more than 50% of the light from street lighting goes outside the road. And therefore there's a lot of power wastage. This will give you more light on the road plus better distribution of light. Means the light will be more or less uniform whether you are driving just below the street light or in the middle of two street lights. Now, before I end my PowerPoints, I want to answer the question that I get asked the most after I finish my talk. Students ask me and people ask me, how do I get new ideas? So my target audience for this talk is mostly engineering students, science students, and school students of the age of 8th grade. And many of them tell me, sir, I want to develop a new machine. You know, my friends or my parents or relatives or school will help me, or college will help me, give me some funds, but I don't have a good idea. How do I get new ideas? And I'm going to answer this single question, and then it will be the end of my talk, and then we can open it for question and answers. So my solution for coming out with great ideas which can change the world is in 3 steps. Step 1, live as usual. And I'm going to take an example to explain my 3-step solution to come out with inventions. Let us take the example of mosquito bite. So step 1, live as usual. So you are sleeping in your bedroom at night and a mosquito comes and starts biting you. So remember, you did not go to the mosquito. The mosquito found out the smallest hole in your bedroom, flew through it, and then mosquito found you. So live as usual and problems will hunt for you. It's not like writing a poetry. It's not like writing a poetry where you go to a beach to get some stimulus or new ideas, or you take a big road trip to write a novel. It's not like that. Wherever you are, problems will keep hunting. Problems will keep surrounding you. Step 2, when you face a problem, check if the problem has been solved or not. So in this case, when a mosquito is biting you, ask yourself, is there a solution for mosquito bite? The answer luckily is yes. There is mosquito repellent chemicals like Good Night and All Out. There is mosquito nets. You can hole-proof your bedroom if possible, or you can move to a location where there are no mosquitoes. And the most used solution is to use Good Night or a mosquito net. So if there is a solution, do not reinvent the wheel. The term reinvent the wheel means trying to solve a problem which is already solved. So a wheel is already invented, so do not try to create a wheel because you have a traveling problem. So what I mean to say is that you are in step 2. Step 1 is you live as usual, and step 2 is when you face problems, check if problems have been solved or not. If problems are not solved, then you solve the problem. Okay. Now we come to step 3. Step 3 is if not solved, you solve it. What that means is, if you let's do this again. You are on step 1, mosquito starts biting you, and then you go to step 2, which is check if there is a solution for it. If there is no solution, then you solve it. If a mosquito is biting you, there is no chemicals to repel mosquitoes, there is no mosquito nets, and there is no city which has no mosquitoes. You create it. You experiment with chemicals to create a chemical which repels mosquitoes, or you prototype a mosquito net and try it out. Or if you don't have these two ideas, try to influence your city administration to make sure that there are no trapped water. There is no trapped water, or the drainage system is good enough not to provide a conducive environment for mosquitoes. But that's a little bit of politics. It's hard to do. Better try to develop a chemical by yourself, or try to develop a mosquito net, or you think of another idea, a mosquito bat which can kill mosquitoes through sparking. So this is the three-step procedure. I want to repeat again. Live as usual, problems will hunt for you. Step 2, when you face problems, check if they have been solved or not. If not solved, you solve it. If not solved, remember, giving us problems is nature's way of giving us new ideas. If you suddenly see a net in front of you, you will not understand the meaning. Imagine there are no mosquitoes, and it is like, say, 2000 BC. You see a net in front of you, or you see a chemical in front of you, but you don't know what to do with it. But when a mosquito bites you and you discover these nets and you discover these chemicals, now you have a solution to sell to others. Next time you face a problem, be happy because you are trying to solve it. While you try to solve it, you will conceive a new idea and sell the idea to become a millionaire. And I want to explain with this slide. I want to explain the power of science and technology. I'm an engineer. I'm biased towards engineering and science. If I'm a singer, I would be biased towards singing and music. So what I want to say is that the amount of attention that science and technology can get you is much bigger than the attention that many other domains can get you. For example, when the German Air Force bombed London in 1916, people came out of their houses to see the wonder in the air. They are seeing a plane for the first time. Normally, you would expect when a bomb falls from the sky, people will run into the bomb shelter and not come out after 2 days, even if the bombing stops. So that is the power of science and technology to attract attention. And also remember that if you take top 5 inventions out of this world, we go back to the Stone Age, or we go back to the forest age where people lived on trees. You take out ball bearing, you take out electricity, you take out telephone, you take out radio. We go back by maybe 500 or 1,000 years. And remember, the ages of human being, the ages by which we recognize an era, the time frame is defined by the technology used in it. Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, science and engineering, the technology age. Today we live in the technology age. Okay. Now this is a slide to show you the major inventions created in India. The Indians created the world's first non-rusting iron. The autocannon was first used in 1582 by an Indian king. Button was invented in India. Steel, ink, rocket missiles in 1780. crystal sugar, optical fiber I told you about. Mary Anderson, this is a list of women inventors. You know, you can see it yourself. It's the windshield wiper was invented by Mary Anderson. The child diaper, the world's first computer program by Dr. Grace Murray. Baby carrier, correction fluid, Josephine Crockrane created the dishwasher, and Anne Connolly created the world's first fire escape. This is a former Hollywood actress known as the inventor of Wi-Fi. She is a lady who proposed using varying frequency for communication. So once you have varying frequency, it is very difficult to hack your communication because you don't know how it varies. These frequencies are varied randomly. And I want to obliterate some myths about inventions. Many people say inventions are risky and complicated. Wrong. This is wrong. In every domain, there are easy things and complicated things. In singing, there are easy songs, there are complicated songs. In dancing, there are easy dance and there is complicated dance. In the same way, in inventions, there are many easy inventions. For example, the paperclip. The paperclip was first prototyped by using a wasted electrical wire. The screwdriver was a rod which was filed on both sides by using a simple file. Spanner was also made by simple filing. It took 30 seconds to prototype the world's first paperclip, and it cost zero money. It would have taken close to one hour to file and create the world's first screwdriver. It would have taken close to 6 hours to file and create the world's first spanner. And now the second myth, the second question people say, the second comment people say is that inventions cost a lot of money. Yes, some inventions cost a lot of money. If you are trying to create the world's first flying car, it will cost you a lot of money. If you are trying to create the world's first tunnel drilling machine, it will cost a lot of money. It's the same in all domains. If you are trying to create a big movie on World War, it will cost a lot of money. If you are trying to create a movie of people going to Mars, it may cost a lot of money. But there are movies which have become hit with zero investment. There are short movies or short videos of 5-10 minutes which have got several 100 million hits for just zero money invested, and those were shot from their cell phones. So I'm calling all of the audience here to give the inventor in you a chance. You are all going to live close to 100 years because you are all very young. I'm hearing that within another 20-30 years you can replace your head. So maybe many of you will never die, and you are going to get bored. You are going to get aged with whatever job, whatever clerical or repetitive job that you do, smart people have said that most people use just 5% of their brain. I am asking you to consider using much more than 5% of your brain to create an invention that will change the world, which will create millions of jobs. Don't worry if you don't have a great idea right now. You are all young at your age. I also did not have an idea for an invention. As time passes by, many problems will confront you. You simply cannot run away from problems. When you face a problem, try to recognize the problem. We all recognize problems subconsciously and we forget it. Note that you are facing a problem. When you reach home, note down the problem. whenever you're free, think of a way to come out with a solution. Now we have so many ways to access information. You can Google, you can search on YouTube. Maybe the problem you are facing is already solved. 10 out of 100 problems you saw, 10 out of 12 problems you face maybe is already solved. But the other two are not solved. So try to solve a problem and conceive a new idea, pursue the new idea, make a product or service which will solve the problem, and now you become famous. And once you become famous, money will follow you. Okay, so that is my last slide. You can communicate with me with the email address yahoo.com.
Thank you so much, Praveen. It was awesome. And all of these examples, especially the Indian examples and people from India, and that inspiration of people to kind of follow the path and get into this inventive mode is something which I personally enjoyed thoroughly. And I'm sure the kind of questions I am receiving on the chat window, on my WhatsApp account, emails, everywhere there are questions which are following up. And I'm sure we'll do justice to whatever is there in the time limit we have, but we'll certainly try to open up all of these. So thank you,
Okay.
Praveen. It was great session. And I'll just open up a few questions which you can take up immediately. So one of the questions that I see in the chat window is that, as said, an invention can change the life of whole world. Some suggestion for youngsters to become scientists. As in, how can the youngsters become scientists? What's the path that they should follow, and where exactly to start with? Maybe you can add upon something here.
Okay, I'm not able to see the questions, but every question I will wait for you to ask me.
Sure.
The answer is pretty much what I gave you. Is that to discover a great problem, to discover a path or trajectory which will take you to a great invention, you don't have to do anything. You only have to wait and live as usual. Living as usual is the world's easiest job. You live as usual and problems will hunt for you. You live as usual and problems will hunt for you. All the problems we face trying to solve the Zoom today's morning were hunting for us, right? So
sure.
Problems will hunt for you, and you recognize, we all subconsciously recognize the problem we are faced with. For example, the man who created the tree climbing scooter, Mr. Ganapati Bhatt. We all know that Kerala has a lot of coconut trees, Karnataka, Assam, lot of places in India have a lot of coconut trees, and climbing this coconut tree is a big strain. A coconut tree climber can only do maybe 20 coconut trees a day. And,
sure.
And the scooter is available for like 100 years.
Sure.
It took close to 100 years for a poor man like Ganapati Bhatt to spend his own money. So we all face problems subconsciously, but we fail to transform that recognition from subconscious state to formal, fully conscious state.
Correct. So you mean to say wherever there is a problem, there is an opportunity, and wherever there is an opportunity, you can invent.
Yes. So if I were Ganapati Bhatt, or if one of the students in this class were Ganapati Bhatt, and this is how the problem will approach you. Your father is shouting to somebody on the phone, and then you ask your father what's going on, and he says, I called this coconut tree climber 10 times. He said he will come today. He said he will come tomorrow. Now I've been waiting for 15 days, and the coconuts are falling into my neighbor's plot, and he's complaining. So this is the time. This is the time you think of solving. Now a problem has come onto you. You know, your father did not come to you and say, son, solve it. It happened because your father made noise. The problem hunted for you. Now ask yourself, how can I fix an engine into a rolling mechanism which is safe and which will ride on a coconut tree? Now a coconut tree climber can climb 200 coconut trees a day. 200 coconut trees, 10 times better. Inventions save your money and time by at least 10 times. It extends your life. It gives quality free time and a lot of money for all other people. Money is nothing but time saved. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, I mean, awesome, awesome. That question looks to have a very good response. I would also like to open up the session for people who can unmute and speak about any questions that they have in mind, or else I have few questions on my WhatsApp and emails that have flown through for this session, which I can definitely take up. But anybody in the session would like to open up a question from their end, we can take a 1-minute pause and check.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Please tell me your name and your location and your designation. If you're a school student in 12th standard, tell me that.
My name is Sukesh Chauhan. I am from Noida, and I am a teacher. I want to ask some questions. Can you suggest some area where the youngsters can think to invent? Some area where they can improve, or they can invent. They can think about.
Okay, so if students are trying to do a project, they don't have a project idea, and waiting for problems to hunt for them may take years. So they can go to my website called youcaninvent.org, and I have uploaded close to 300 of the latest invention videos there, and students can watch many of those inventions for free. And every invention has a lot of unsolved problems, or if you combine the features of two inventions, it become a new invention. So I would suggest all the students to go to that website, youcaninvent.org, click on latest inventions and see all these YouTube videos. It took a lot of time and effort from my side to Google and find out those inventions, and I'm sharing all of them for free with the public. Shah, did I answer your question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks.
And Shah, one more thing, that you could consider inviting me to give a talk to the students of your school. Many students want to make inventions, but they are not sure if they can, and they are not sure if many Indians have done it. The purpose of digging out a lot of details of Indian origin inventors, which took so many months for me, is to tell them that people of your same flesh and blood, born in India, educated in India, all those most of those inventors, I would say 95% of them were born in India, educated in India, and they lived and studied until the age of 25 in India, not in foreign countries. And then they went to foreign countries and made a big invention. So you are pretty much formed by the age of 25. So what I want to say is that every Indian born in India and educated in India should feel lucky that they have the same genes, they have the same blood, and they can do the same invention of a global scale if given the opportunity and environment. This is why I'm trying to transform 1 million people into inventors and not 100 or 1,000 people into inventors, because 1 million people is an ecosystem which will support itself and evolve. But 2 or 3 or 10 or 100 inventors don't form a critical mass of population which can support itself and grow itself. I hope you understand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Giving this opportunity for all of us. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Next question.
Any other from the audience would like to open up for a question?
Yeah, this is Sanjeev. I don't have a question, but I have a thought in mind.
Yeah, please tell me your thought.
Yeah, Corona has actually brought into too many inventors, because we see auto drivers, partitioning their auto, putting sanitizers and fixing them on their auto. So what I'm saying, what you said was right, that if there is a problem, if you try to find a solution, that is an invention. So in our daily life, we have seen a lot of inventions coming up in the Corona time. That should inspire the students. That's it.
Yes, yeah. So it's a nice thought. What Sanjeev Mancha was saying is that there are a couple of auto rickshaw people who put a sanitizer stand in their auto rickshaw, and Saul spreading it from the auto rickshaw side. And even I helped design a dispenser stand, a foot operated dispenser stand for dispensing the sanitizer. So not just me, many people have done it. Some people have created dispenser technology with wireless. So with every calamities will come opportunities, and we need to recognize them. Although there are many bad effects of this corona, there are also good effects. We all had some free time to think hard. We all had some free, boring time, and people are most creative when they are most bored. Remember that. So don't be upset when you're bored. It's when you're bored you are most creative. It's when you feel the most ideal that your aggression in creativity happens, and that is the best time to think of a new idea. Next question.
Any other from the audience would like to ask a question? We have some questions on WhatsApp and other groups as well.
Yeah, can you read one of the important questions?
Sure, there are multiple. Let me choose something which really is interesting to me as well. So let me be selfish here.
Yes, go ahead.
So somebody says that you showed a nice data of 300,000 patents by US. In India, that number was 14,000 odd, if I'm correct. What is lacking in India? We say we have invented so much. There are so many people who are doing so many things. Zero originated from India, but are we lagging behind somewhere? Is government, is intent of an individual, the education system? What is wrong? Can you just highlight there?
Well, I would say the least mistake is on the individual. I would never blame a baby or a child. All babies are born equal. This is not my statement. This is a generally accepted thought or saying. I would blame the lack of support for inventors, and there is a role by the educational institutions to play in it. There is a role in social upbringing. There is a role among parents. All of these entities, and even the government, all of these entities must reward experimentation and creative ventures. And even in our education system, the weightage is too much for memory-based education system, especially in science education, especially in engineering colleges. Engineering colleges are supposed to give at least 50% of the grade for making machines instead of writing exams, because engineering is a hands-on job. So same thing for science and physics and chemistry education. The government of India and the state governments also have to set a date to create inventor personalities. I'm not aware of any inventor of any India-based inventor getting a Bharat Ratna. My belief is that Goodnight Mohan, if he's the inventor of the Goodnight chemical, or I don't know if he co-invented with somebody else, but whoever invented the Goodnight chemical, I think deserves a Bharat Ratna, or Mr. Ganapati Bhatt. He, I believe, at least a Padma Bhushan, in a Padma Shri. We need to create examples like that so people can follow. Once the government recognizes, the private corporations will put in the money. So the problem is not with the individual, the problem is with the environment. And that is why I'm trying to transform 1 million people into inventors, because 1 million people form an environment. It forms a corrective environment. It has a power to pressure and affect a change on the schooling system, on parenting, on the government, and on the corporates. So the mistake is not with the people.
Sure. Thank you so much for your response, Praveen. We have another question in which a gentleman is asking, patenting is something which is a word to me. I have never understood how there is a process involved to get something patented. I think I have done a couple of things which I can get patented, but I don't know the process of it. If Mr. Praveen could highlight from his experience of what it has to be done, it will be grateful for me for this takeaway as a session.
Okay. So patenting is a long and lengthy and complicated process. It also costs some money. So I do workshops on patenting, which I can do at some other time. But when I do workshops, it's like close to 2 hours because people ask me a lot of questions. I know a lot about the patenting process because I wrote my own patent application, and I was granted a patent. I applied for my first patent application at the age of 21, 22. And I have applied for another patent recently, and one more patent I'm going to compose soon. Patenting, the patent office, they are going to ask you 3 fundamental questions. One is it a world's first? Is it novel? Is there a utility for it? And is it non-obvious? So there must be use for it. It must be the world's first, and it should not be obvious. It should be there should be some complication in it. It should not be too obvious for anybody. So these 3 are the main criteria. If your invention fulfills these 3 criteria, then the Indian Patent Office or the patent office in many countries will issue you a patent. It takes 4 to 5 years to get the patent issued after you make an application. The process starts with the help of a patent attorney. When you apply through a patent lawyer, you must apply through a registered patent lawyer. The government of India conducts exams for patent lawyers, and the lawyers who pass those exams are called registered patent lawyers, and they are legally eligible to argue your case in the patent office in case it is refused. So always go to authentic lawyers. You can see a list of patent lawyers at the Indian Patent Office website. You can see a list of registered patent lawyers, and it takes some time. You have to make the drawings, you have to make the claims. You can also apply for an international patent through the Patent Control Treaty application. It costs close to 7 lakhs if you approach a reputed patent firm. Applying for a patent in India for a small invention costs close to 1 lakh rupees. My suggestion is do not apply patent by yourself, because you have the patent office expects you to apply and compose a patent in a specific form, which the patent lawyers are more experienced than you.
Sure.
So you make a big invention, but your patent application is defective because you try to compose it. That's a bad thing.
Sure.
Okay.
That's a great takeaway.
Okay.
So I'll take up a question which is coming from Nepal, and this has come for twice, so I'll definitely take this one first. Mr. Birendra Kumar Sharma from Nepal, he's asking me, because I couldn't attend this session, I'm so sorry, but I heard a bit of it. I definitely want to ask Mr. Praveen, what is the thing that we should check or do in the child's education system which can help our upbringing generations getting into scientific mode far more often than what it has been? I really want to see my sons and daughters grow up into something which they can do for the world as an invention, and in turn make Nepal and me proud. This is what exactly it has.
How old is his children?
I really do not have.
Okay. I'm assuming they are still below 10.
Yeah.
So the answer I have for him is that all children are natural inventors. We don't have to do anything to transform them to inventors. They are already inventors. They are very curious. Whatever a child does to learn of walking by itself is exactly the same process of invention, experimentation, observation, feedback. improved experimentation, observation, feedback, improved. It's like that. So what I do, apart from my talks, I would suggest that his children attend my next talk. Children as young as 7th standard, 5th standard are also eligible to attend if they have the patience to attend. So my suggestion, what I do to promote inventive thinking is that I show and I demonstrate all kinds of engineering components online. Previously, I was doing these demonstrations in my training room. I show them all kind of nuts and bolts and where they are fixed. And then I show them all kinds of motors. And then I show them all kinds of lamps, all kinds of bulbs, all kinds of lenses. I show them so many engineering components which are used in our daily machines. So when students see all these components, they think of a way to use them to build a machine which can solve a problem. Another way of thinking of it is that if they come up with the idea of a machine, they don't know if components exist to build that machine. So my suggestion is to immerse them with videos of inventions on my website called youcaninvent.org. I also have a depository of close to 1,500 latest invention videos, which I can consider supplying to people, not for free, because it takes a lot of time for me to find these inventions. Like making inventions, it is very difficult to find out good quality inventions from the internet. And I could also conduct a workshop on different kinds of nuts and bolts. I'll show you if this, this is a box containing different kinds of nuts and bolts. Many of these components I bought from Germany. So I can take out these different kind of nuts and bolts and show in front of the camera each nut and bolt. For example, this is called a coupling nut. This is called a coupling nut. It is used to attach two bolts. One bolt here, one bolt here. It's used to attach. I will exactly show you. Imagine you have a long threaded rod like this.
Sure.
Okay? And you want to extend it. How do you extend this threaded rod? What you do is you rotate it here, twist it here. Okay, you attach here, and you attach another threaded rod here. So you extend the threaded rod. Okay.
Great.
The problem is when people don't have seen these components, and these nuts and bolts are made more than 1 billion, 1,000 million pieces per year, but people have not seen it. School students and engineering students and science students have not seen it. That is a sad state of the quality of education in the whole world. I'm not just talking about India, it's the same in US and Germany.
Sure.
Yeah. So
thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Praveen.
Yeah.
So Praveen, one last question in the interest of time. We are overshot around 10 more minutes, but there is a question which has come twice, so I will definitely take this up. I have somebody from Kolkata, and she says that I have been quite good in my science and I have been equally good in my computers. Is there something that I can do to club these knowledge together and try to invent? I'm not asking what exactly could I invent, but a field to choose and a guidance here will really work. I am an MSc final year.
MSc final year in which area? You don't know?
No, this is a plain overall questions that I have got from people.
Okay. So the answer is pretty much the same of the first question, that you are an MSc student. You are good in computers, but that doesn't mean that the problems that you face are only into computers. The problems that you face will be from all the branches. Of course, if you are surrounded by software professionals, you will see greater problems on software. But you will travel outside, you will walk outside, you will do whatever all others do. So it doesn't matter. So do not confine yourself to only problems in software. We don't know, because some inventions were made by people of different fields. There are inventions made by doctors. There are mechanical engineering inventions made by doctors. There are electrical engineering inventions made by doctors. There are software innovations made by mechanical engineers. So it is not right to divide subjects. It is not right to deeply divide subjects vertically, because nature is not vertically divided. Nature is horizontally divided. Nature is horizontal, and whichever problem that you face, try to recognize it and try to solve it. If you have 10 problems with equal potential and one is in software and the 9 are in other fields which you are not aware of, then you give preferences to software problem because you are an expert in it.
Sure.
But if you discover a problem in mechanical engineering or medicine or some other field which has great potential and you are sure you can learn it by yourself, or you have friends who are experts, at the same time you have a very small problem in software which is very hard to market, then don't go for software, go for the big problem.
Great.
So live as usual, be happy, be patient. You will live till the age of 100. It's a long period to get attacked by problems. You will get attacked by problems immediately after you log out. Try to recognize them, document them, and try to solve them. There is no easy way.
Sure. I mean, that's so inspirational and noble thought again. You have been so inspirational throughout this session, and the kind of answers that you are giving is not only razor sharp, but also quite enlightening for people to take a path of what exactly they would like to achieve and how they would do it. So thank you, Praveen. On behalf of entire GupshupToInspire team, I would like to render my best of the thanks possible to you. You have been instrumental in enforcing a new dimension altogether on this platform of inspiration, which is around science and which is around invention. And I would love to host you over and over again and try to see what best use we can do from your expertise and your knowledge. And I would also like to call on audience, if there is some questions which I have not been able to address, or if there is something which after the session they feel, please write it to us and we'll definitely put it across to Praveen and check on of how exactly we can solve these questions. Praveen.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And I also want to thank you because you have a sharp brain. Whatever problem Zoom puts onto us, you know a way to get around it.
Thank you so much. I think it's more of your friendship that has got this invention into me. Otherwise, I wasn't that great in Zoom or any other accounts. So thank you so much.
Yeah, great. And does anybody? So I'm thinking it's end of the talk, right?
Yeah, it's end of the talk. I'll just one last message to everybody. The website www.GupshupToInspire.com will host and has already hosted a story about Mr. Praveen, and will also come up with a video of the session. So stay glued to us, follow our social media handles, especially the YouTube and the Instagram, which will have all of these feeds which we have discussed. And if anything that you lost upon, or maybe you want us to repeat or kind of come back to you, please let us know. We are here to help, and we'll try to figure out what best and how best we can answer all the queries and questions, if at all we have missed any. So once again, everybody, I think thank you. Thank you for being such a good participants out here. Thank you, Praveen. I can go on thanking you because of all those good works that you have shown and you have told us. So I would like to call off the session and would like to stay glued and stay intact with all the upcoming sessions that we can do together.
Fine. Thanks and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.